Hi guys, I hope everybody's doing good this week. Um, I just wanted to come on. I've got a pile of stuff here. First, I was going to show you a couple books that I'm going to have in my Etsy shop. Um, sorry. And then we're going to put one together. So the first one, it's a little bit smaller than the bigger one. It's just one the signature. Sorry about that. And it's just basic. I don't have any tucks or pockets in it. You can let me know if you think I should put them in or just send the stuff with the journal and whoever buys it, because they may want it set up different or something. I don't know, but right now it's just got the pages in it. And the other one's just like this, and it don't have any tucks or pockets in it either. But it's got more signatures in it than this one. But like I said, it's just plain. It's got plenty of journaling room. And like I said, I was going to send some, either put the tucks and pockets in it, or send all the material with the journal so they can put them in how they want them. And then this one's going to be the same way, but it's got 3 signatures on it, and it's a little bit bigger length and width wise. And it's this one I distressed the edges and I rounded the corners on this one, so spend a little more time on this one. Some pages have got some distressing on them. And same thing with this one. I'm not sure if I want to put the tucks and pockets in it myself, or just send it with the book. If I put the tucks and pockets in it, of course, it's more time in it, so it'll be a little bit more, but that's one signature. This is the second one. And the way I done this is I put the cardstock down, and then I distressed it and rounded the edges of the design paper and glued it down. It's got some vintage papers. These are vintage papers that I put in right here. It's got some journaling paper right here. More vintage paper. Tea or coffee stained paper. I love the way that turned out. Thought it was really neat. And that's the end of that signature. And then we got this signature. And it's same as the other two. It's got vintage music paper in it. Journaling paper. More vintage paper. And then journaling paper. And it's got more tea-dyed, more vintage paper. Journaling paper, music paper, vintage music paper. More vintage paper. And that's the end. And it does have a gap right here, and I think I'm going to either put some ribbon or some washi tape on it. And that's the end. That's this one. I've got to get those two up on my Etsy shop. And it's got the little Tim Holtz wrinkle ribbon as a tie. So those are the two I've got to get put on my Etsy shop. This is the one that we're going to make. It's going to be similar to those. On the cover, instead of using paper or something that I don't like the way it looks when you use paper, I use cloth on the fronts. And that's what we're going to do to this one. I went ahead and picked all the papers out to put in them to make it a little quicker. See, I ain't sitting here watching me fumble through all my papers to find papers. Sorry. Got a tickle in my throat. Let me a drink. Okay. And the way I do it is first I get my book. I should have done this on camera, but I wasn't thinking about it. But you got it. Take out the middle papers. I always leave the first page and the last page. And normally I cover that with scrapbook paper, so it's not just white. And first, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to figure out how we want our fabric on there. Let's see. The only thing with this is, I like this being on the front, but then there's going to be upside down pictures, which I don't like. It's going to be like that pretty much with any corner I use. This one's not so much. So I think I'll use this one, this corner. What I do is I measure, figure out where the book is, make sure there's a hangover on all the corners. I cut just a rough draft of there. Cut that. And then you get rid of the big bundle. Then you got what you need. Okay. Then you want to flip it over. See how much hang there is. See where you want it positioned. Sorry, can't speak. See where you want it positioned. And this is about the right length you'd want. I'm going to have to do some more trimming on this one. These I think should be okay. But you don't want that much hang. So you want to kind of trim it up a little. And then I take, once I get the fabric where I want it, I take the corners and I cut them. Cut the corners off. This is not working very easily for me. There. You want to make sure still a little bit, just a hair, on the edges. On all the edges. You don't want to cut it so far that the book will show. Okay. And then you got these little pieces. I like to keep them because I can use them in other craft areas I do. So I keep those. You don't have to. You can throw them away. By all means. It's totally what you want to do. It's just what I do. Then, if you can give me just a minute, I normally take the paper normally take this over and iron it. So let me do that real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. The reason you want to do that is you want it to be as straight as possible. And, sorry, the strings are going to bother me. Cut these off. You don't have to. Well, it means if it don't bother you, then leave them on there. But long ones would bother me. So, but, it's part of OCD, I reckon. But you want to iron it to get it good and straight. Then put it back on your book. Make sure it's exactly where it's supposed to be. All corners, none of them are showing. Make sure there's no book showing on any of the corners. And then, I know this is redundant, but flip it back over. You don't be doing a lot of flipping it over and back over and okay. I use, you don't have to, but I use glue stick. I'm using the Extra Strong Craft Bond by Elmer's. Oh. If it'll focus. Use it. You want to put it on your book. Pull it. Make sure you got a hold to the book, but pull the fabric kind of tight also. Okay, that's the first part you want to do. Okay, then you'll flip it back over, pull it that way, glue, put glue all over your, I like using glue stick because the fabric doesn't, it doesn't go through the fabric and the fabric don't wrinkle. It just sticks a lot better, and I just like the glue stick better. You, by all means, use whatever glue you want or have. I have used wet glue before. It's just, if I have it, I'd rather use glue stick. You get your fabric, pull it tight, seal it down. I normally use a rag or a tissue or something to try to smooth it. Get it down in the crease right there. Make sure it's good and smoothed out. No wrinkles in it. And then move on. Do the spine of the book. Getting the crease good. Glue the back side. Glue it, glue it, glue it. And I'm sorry if you can hear my daughter. She's upstairs on the phone. She talks kind of loud, but love her anyway. I've had a pretty interesting week. A lot of stress. Caused my blood pressure to go sky high, but it's gone down. So things like that happen, especially when you have 4 teenagers. Well, let me rephrase that. 3 teenagers and 1 21-year-old. She's still pretty much my teenager. Okay. Smooth it out. Uh-oh. Come on. There. There. Now your book is, you've started on your book. Smooth it out really good. Make sure it's folding right. Make sure it's still down in the crease. It ain't popped up. And I can still feel the glue a little bit through, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is with the wet glue. And it glues a lot faster. Cut the corners a little too close for comfort here. Then normally what I do is I take my scissors and right here, right where the spine is. See that? Right where the papers were? You want to cut it right there on both sides. So you have a little flap like this. You'll have that. What you do is exactly what I just done. You take that little flap and you glue it right down there. And it keeps the book from showing through right there. But first you take the part where you glued this part on, take your glue, and you glue it down right there. Okay. See, I cut these corners a little too close for comfort. I mean, it's covering it, but it's not covering it as well as I'd like for it to. There. See, it's covering it. It's just too close for comfort. Okay, and then do the same thing on this side. Oops. And if you forget, you can always just go back and cut it. It's no biggie. Baby wipe. I don't want this part to stick to, I put the glue up too far. And if that happens, just take a baby wipe or something and wipe it. or take your heat gun and dry it, because once it's dry, it's not sticky. So you can do it either way. Now I ain't got to worry about the paper sticking to it. So then, remember these little flips? I'll put a little bit of glue down in there. Pull it. Glue it down. Put a little glue down in there. Pull it. Glue it down. Okay, and then you just repeat the process. Okay, we'll get this one. Yeah, I don't like how short that is at all. It's not going to show, but it's way too close for me. And glue this one down. Okay, that step is done. One thing I did forget to grab, I tried to get everything ready beforehand, but one thing I forgot was to pick the paper you want to put right here. So what we're going to do is do that real quick. That should be kind of cute. Okay. We're going to use this. What we're going to do is you kind of figure out kind of where you want it. And then I'm going to use the regular Elmer's school glue. It's not going to focus. There it goes. Just going to use that on this part. Go over the fabric and everything. Make sure you get it good and glue. Don't over glue, but be generous with the glue. Oops. Okay, just that part for now. Get your paper stuff put down. Then use your rag or your napkin and rub it down. Make sure it's stuck really good. Okay. and flip the paper over, and then put glue on this side. Make sure you get it close to the edge, and if you want, you can use something to put down so you don't get glue all over the other side, because I'm very messy, so glue goes everywhere when I do this. Probably could hear the train. They think they got to blow way back here instead of up there where the roadway is, but you know. Okay. Then you do the same thing. Down, drag, rub it. It folds over. Then I take my scissors and I just cut. This part's a little irritating, but knocking all my glue sticks down and when it gets to the book part, normally get my knife out and I just trim it. And you'll have a little lip right here where this page, see how there's still an area, so I just cut it to right at the corner, and then I cut it right there. Oops. Someone don't like being glued down. Okay, then we got this one covered. Nope, got to trim this one. There. Now it's trimmed. Okay. Now, uh-oh, got stuck, but that's okay. Now you're going to repeat. Same thing. Bunch of glue down. Especially if you're using a glue stick. If you're not, if you're using wet glue, I would not advise putting a whole lot down because it will wrinkle your paper. Oops. I go through a lot of glue sticks, a lot. But that's a-okay. Oops. I'm supposed to be doing this side. Okay. Trying to hurry because, you know, sake of video. People ain't sitting here for hours trying to figure out, watch me make a book. So I'm trying to rush and it's not wanting to stick down. Fold it. So don't forget, go ahead and do this one. I have the worst memory in the world, I swear. Can't remember nothing. Okay, it's not wanting to stick for some reason. Never had this much trouble getting it to stick. Okay. Oops. Okay. Cut that off. There. Okay. Now we got the outside covered. We got the inside covered. It's not just white. Now what we do, we're almost done. Now what we'll do is get our papers together for the inside. For sake of video, I'd already cut this down to the size I need. I normally cut it to this size. I make it go where it pretty much fits this. I don't go by this, I go by this. I'm just going to do one signature because it is a small book. So what we got to do is figure out what order we want our papers in. Folded. Get them folded. If they have fold right. Half time they don't. This one will go in. It's already folded down the middle there. So it'll go in like that. This one will be sideways. Okay, then you figure out, get them all folded, figure out what order you want them in. Okay, but one thing I did not do, and I was wanting to show you, is you want to put all your papers, because some of mine are shorter, so you want to put all of them at the bottom, because you'll be cutting it. So make sure they're all down at the bottom. But one thing we're going to do before we do anything else is I've got some little sheets like this. And I think I'll do those too. What I like doing is either putting them in, just taking one and putting it in sideways, or you can take, I'll probably just do one that way, and then take, so that way I can show you both ways to do it. Just fold it in half and stick it in where you want it. I'll do it right here. Looks like a good place for it. And the other way you can do it is to take two. Well, if I can get them to come off. Take two of them. Put them side by side. You gotta make sure they're good and straight and touching. You're going to take your washi tape. Again, make sure they're straight. They've got to be straight. Put your washi tape in the middle. As you can see, it's not the easiest thing to do, but turns out really good. And of course it's going to bend on me. But it'll be okay because that's the part that's going to be sewed in. It's going to be your bend in your paper. The back side's, as you can see, it's a lot easier to put down because it's already together. Cut the edges. Cut the washi tape off the edges. I didn't go all the way down, so I'm just going to fold this one. Okay, and then take it and right where the two pieces go together, bend it. That's going to be your fold. Then you take your pamphlet, figure out where you're going to want it. I think where I'm going to put it is right here. See? Won't be able to see it. Won't be able to see this tape very much. Okay, and you got all your papers down here at the bottom. Then you take your signature and make sure they're all good and spaced in there right. Get your cutter. If you don't have a cutter, you can use scissors. I'm just using the cutter to make it easier and quicker. Cut it off level there. And then get it here. Cut those off. Some people save these. I do not. I used to. Then I started getting too many scraps and not enough room to keep them on. So, oh, I was wanting to put some doilies. I cannot say this word right. Make sure this is just one. Oh, my grandson's up. Okay. Figure out where you want to put it. Okay, I'm going to put one right here. Fold it just like you would anything else. Any of the other papers. Fold it in half. Put it in here. And you have it. I'm just going to put one in this time. I was kind of wanting around the pages on this one. The video's getting long, so I think what I'll do is make a part 2. So if you like this video and you want to continue figuring out how to make the book, please watch part 2. I'm sorry, I tried to do it as quick as I could to make it not so long. But I hope you like this video, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button if you liked it. And thank you for your time, and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.